If you are experiencing neck problems, tension, headaches, and so on, it has quite a lot to do with your desk work. What Aina is showing here is the usual posture that most office workers tend to adopt once they have been sitting upright for more than 2 minutes. The rounded back collapses inwards, and to ensure you don't end up looking past the computer, the head has to be overextended. This indicates that this incorrect posture is a round back position. To compensate for the round back and to ensure you can look straight ahead again, the head is then overextended. As a consequence, these muscles right here become progressively shorter, more tense, and increasingly cramped over time. And that's the issue that arises from poor posture. Unfortunately, even if a person is fully aware of it and perhaps possesses a mirror on the side and ensures they sit up straight and perform their work in the correct manner, then what has become too short at the front due to daily habits keeps pulling it back into this familiar position. That means when you're focusing intently on what you're writing here, what you're planning, you typically lack the ability to simultaneously manage or control your body position. That implies, as soon as the attention shifts back here, it's no longer focusing here, and thus, you fall again in a poor posture. And that is the problem that afflicts quite a significant number of people. It's also the reason why more issues tend to arise in this situation, because the moment you start moving normally again, the tension hasn't disappeared yet and still persists. That keeps pulling us back. We have two tensions working against each other. One is the one that wants to become short again here, and the other tension is the one that wants to become round again here. And this struggle is one that the muscles simply cannot win. With all the goodwill in the world, especially among the younger people, when parents keep saying, "Hey, sit up straight," that person desires to stay straight, but the fascia pull him back into the wrong posture because it has become such a deeply ingrained habit. And the ligaments around the spine have adapted to this habitual posture, becoming either shortened or lengthened accordingly. That means exercises must be done to counteract these shortenings. Only then can one win this fight. And that's what we'll show you now. In the first exercise, we work against this forward tightening effect, and we'll do that best in the corner. Ina, please go to the corner. Okay, so watch out. Position yourself in front of the corner and move 1 foot forward. Yes. And now, lift your arms to approximately this height. But what matters is, no, don't walk in too far, just stay back. Keep the elbows fully extended. At this very moment, it's essential for the upper part of the sternum to gently and carefully shift itself into the corner. The upper section of the sternum gently moves into the corner. Very soon, you'll feel a significant tension building up across the chest and shoulders, extending further into the arms. It can extend to your fingertips depending on the shortening you've experienced because you're always here in the front, working. Most never have their arms back, and we're fixing that now. This way, you'll already get into a completely different position. That means stand like that, and it's important that you don't move your hips into the corner because that won't benefit your shoulders or upper body. But you lead with the upper part of your sternum, moving deeper into the corner for better alignment. At the same time, you're also helping to prevent any shoulder issues, or if you already have shoulder problems besides your neck tension and neck pain, then you actually achieve a double beneficial effect. This is a wonderful basic exercise. Use every corner you see. I can only recommend it to you. In our second exercise, we are specifically targeting and working against this shortening of the cervical spine area. And you can even do this right on your office chair. You sit up straight and even lean back so that you have a solid reference point, knowing exactly here you have contact. Subsequently, you take both of your hands and maneuver them over your head, paying close attention so that you begin the pulling action precisely from this specific area mentioned here. Lower your head tightly, making sure you create a distinctly noticeable pulling effect in the specifically described area. And then you stretch into it, and you can do that for a really long time. Up to 3 minutes is always worth it because there are so many ligaments and so many layers of muscles and fascia that are stabilized in this position, so you do need some time before the whole thing eventually starts moving. Maybe a brief explanation. Many people stretch for about 15 seconds and 20 seconds and repeat that often. that truly doesn't contribute at all, because honestly, the connective tissue we're talking about here really needs at least 30 seconds before it even begins to give way. That means the actual effect only begins after 30 seconds. That means after having a preparation period of 30 seconds and then adding another 2 to 2.5 minutes on top, you'll start finding the exercise quite effective. The impact progressively strengthens over time. Keep drawing in even more and constantly make attempts to extend it further here. Once you've done that for long enough, you do the following. Stand up. Ina, come here and go with your back against the wall. Now, standing in this position at the wall, try again, using the wall as a straight edge and moving your chin back in such a way that your head is aligned in this manner, and specifically what we stretched out before is now effectively lengthened accordingly. And of course, this looks exaggeratedly stiff. You need to understand the exercise as a way to normalize the exaggerated curves, the overly pronounced lordosis in the cervical spine, and the kyphosis in the thoracic spine. The objective is not to walk around as stiff as a walking stick, but rather to restore these curves to normal, making sure they are precisely as they ought to be. And if they were too exaggerated in that direction, we'll exaggerate in the other direction so that balance comes in relaxation, because then even the children who are learning this can stand relaxed again. Otherwise, the fascia that are too short always win over the muscles because they can't manage it. That's exactly why it requires this stretch. Plus, as an added bonus, a neck-soothing fascia roll massage. And then we'll work on the left side and the right side. Specifically, these strands, as there's often a lot of tension in them. That means you gently turn your head a bit to the left and then tilt it with the right temple slightly downward, angling it to the side. And you hold the roll in both hands and proceed from a diagonal angle, meaning from the back and the side, precisely aiming for the midpoint between them. Then you proceed to move down from here. Follow along, we'll demonstrate it quickly now, but you need to do it much more slowly, please. Continue lowering yourself further and further down until you notice your strength diminishing and you can't go on. But by that time, you'll already be in the area, which is no longer that important, and then you do the same on the other side. This means you have your head straight, but now you turn it to the right and gradually lower it sideways over to the left once more, taking the roll back again into your hand. And you go from the ear, behind the ear there's a bone you can feel well, and from that bone downwards, diagonally, you notice, oh, it's really stuck there, there are tensions in there, and the rolling has the effect that these tensions begin to dissolve. And then you proceed, oh, Ina, you've shifted a bit too far over from the back. You need to finish like this? Yes. So from above, it's a diagonal angle, which practically ends here because there's this strand that causes so many problems. We have discussed some crucial connections in depth because many people believe desk work is harmful, but as you can observe here, it truly doesn't have to be like that in any way. The trick is, you have to balance it. Great that you were here. I look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye, see you next time.